It's 25th of September 2017. Welcome to Y254 News. My name is Christine Kiai. Now, our question of discussion today is, does political divide and tribalism distort our integrity as Kenyans? Does political divide and tribalism distort our integrity as Kenya? Remember to send in your comments, your questions to 22162 beginning with the word news, and you can find us on Twitter and Facebook at Y254 channel. The hashtag is Y254 updates, and welcome to the program. Now, Central Organization of Trade Unions boss Francis Atwoli has asked National Super Alliance leader Raila Odinga to get ready for the repeat presidential elections on October 26th and stop issuing threats that there will be no poll. Atwoli pointed out that Raila should stop living in denial and that he was not consulted on the date announced by the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission to conduct the fresh elections. Abdul with that report.
Speaking in Khwisero Kakamega showdown between him and President Uhuru Kenyatta. The president indicated on Friday that the opposition leader cannot continue holding Kenya hostage with unending conditions over how the repeat election should be carried out. Speaking in Kiambu County, the president said that Raila does not want to go to the poll because he knows he will lose. He urged residents to turn out in large numbers to ensure that the Jubilee Party emerges victorious. For Y254 News Updates, my name is Abdul Razak Ngutia.
Now, the issue of integrity when it comes to political matters seems not only to be a matter of concern in Kenya, but also in Japan. Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was widely expected to call a snap election today, hoping to capitalize on rising support as tension with nearby North Korea reaches fever pitch. Voters in the world's third largest economy could go to the polls as soon as October 22nd, more than a year earlier than expected, as Abe seeks to take advantage of a political opposition in this way.
According to a weekend poll in Business Daily Nikkei, 44% of voters plan to vote for Abe's conservative LDP party, while only 8% said they would side with the main opposition Democratic Party. Nevertheless, 1/5 of those polled said they were still undecided, potentially opening the door for gains by a new party formed by allies of the popular mayor of Tokyo, Rico Koike, which will field dozens of candidates. Julie Owino reporting for Y254 News.
Following the recently concluded German elections for the federal parliament that took place on 24th of September this year, Chancellor Angela Merkel has managed to secure a fourth term in office. Our reporter Hilda Wathithi has the details.
The final official calculation of secured seats, they say, is a complex process that may take several days. However, despite the strong showing polls confirming Christian Democratic-led alliance's Angela Merkel's victory, it seems the German elections are about to take the same turn the Kenyan elections took. Merkel's party secured 33% of the vote, according to exit polls, which was about 12 points ahead of her main rival, Martin Schulz from the Social Democrats, who secured 21 points, which is said to be the poorest result for Germany's oldest party, therefore pushing it to the opposition benches. She is now being faced with tough coalition talks as the Nationalist Party AfD entered German parliament in over 6 decades. Thus, analysts say she may have returned, but with diminished authority. The electoral arithmetic in 2013 forced Angela into a grand coalition with the second biggest party, SPD, Social Democrats. This time round, she may have one other option, which is the CDU Liberals, who have so far scooped slightly more than 50% of the seats. So far, the provisional results results indicate 299 of 299 constituencies have been declared. According to further reports, on the challenges Angela stands to face as she starts her fourth term is the digitalization lag and low birth rates that have plagued Germany, as corruption has also plagued Kenyans. The elections were conducted peacefully and effectively. Hilda Wadidi for Y News.
Now, the United States has expanded its controversial travel ban to include people from North Korea, Venezuela, and Chad. The White House said the restrictions follow a review of information shared by foreign governments. Doreen with that story.
The 3 new countries joined 5 others from Mr. Trump's original travel ban: Iran, Libya, Syria were placed on Sudan. The addition of North Korea, Chad, and Venezuela now means not all nations on the list are majority Muslim. It was subject to a range of legal challenges and several large-scale protests and is due to be considered by the U.S. Supreme Court in October, having been partly resisted on July. The American Civil Liberties Union Rights Group, saying the addition of the new countries doesn't obfuscate the real fact that the administration's order is still a Muslim ban. Reporting for Y254 Updates, my name is Patricia Murioki.
Now, remember to send in your questions and your suggestions and comments on our SMS line. That's 22162, beginning with the word news. And you can find us on Twitter and Facebook at Y254 channel. The hashtag is Y254 updates. Now, a journalist became a hero A journalist became a hero of humanity in Kenya and Uganda in the wake of police operations against those that were protesting plans by Ugandan Parliament to remove the age limit to allow President Yoweri Museveni unfettered access to power. According to a privately owned media house in Uganda whose headquarters is in Kenya, a news reporter, Aaron Mukama, threw down his camera and rushed to the rescue of a Makerere University student who was choked by tear gas during protests in Kampala. Mukama reportedly spotted the female university student choking and fainting from his camera lens before offering to resuscitate and immediately rush her to hospital in a company vehicle. It is said that the students had gone to a police station to demand the release of colleagues arrested earlier during the protests against Ugandan Parliament's plans to remove the age limit barring President Museveni from running for office in 2021 on account of his age. The heroic rescue of the first-year student at the Makerere University appears to have been inspired by the action of Kenyan journalist Victor Muyakane, who braved bee stings to save a man on a wheelchair. The action of the 2 journalists is, however, subject of debate amongst media practitioners on whether journalists in the line of duty should save lives at risk first or pay attention to covering the story. Christine Kiai for Y254 News. More on heroes. We laud athletes, footballers, and our politicians when they do something thrilling. But how often do we laud people who do extraordinary things, even going out of their way to help other people? Political affiliation, tribe, or religion has time and again been proven not to be the basis of our unity of purpose and harmony. Hilary brings us that story.
Over the years and much more in the recent past, politicians have been seen and regarded as an icon and the voice of the community. This has, however, contributed to moral decay of the way of life as far as integrity is concerned. In 2007 and 2008 post-election violence, Kenya went into a dark page when communities fought each other following incitement from their political leaders. Just recently, we have seen politicians utter strong divisive statements in campaign rallies and even through social media, statements aimed at inciting the masses. This even with an institution established to counter the deal with individuals who utter hate speech statements. Nothing much has been done so far. The memories of the inferno at the Moi Girls High School is still fresh in our memories. Despite the tribal lines, political affiliation, and even religion, we saw a brave young lady who gave up her life to save others. May her soul rest in eternal peace. When she rescued other girls, she didn't mind where they come from or their second names either. All she cared about was saving lives, for that was the right thing to do then. It is said, wisdom is knowing the right thing to do, and integrity is doing it. This reminds me of the brave Abdul Haji of the Westgate terrorist attack. When he got at the scene, he didn't care of his own life, but of others. His pictures and names went viral, all lauding him for his heroism, yet no single Kenyan minded from what community or political affiliation he belonged. It was still in the same period when we saw Kenyans come together to donate blood to the victims and showed of unity and resilience as a nation. Again, during the series of terrorism attacks that befell our country, we saw Muslim women cover Christians when more than 10 Somali militants clambered on board, heavily armed, and began shouting demands at the passengers, ordering them to get off the bus and separate into groups of Muslims and non-Muslims. But Muslims aboard the bus traveling through northeastern Kenya helped protect the Christian passengers. These Muslims sent a very important message of the unity of purpose, that we are all Kenyans and that we are not separated by religion or political affiliations. For Y254 News, my name is Dereva Hilary.
Those two stories bring us to our topic of discussion, and I'll just remind you the question today, which is, does political divide, tribalism distort our integrity as Kenyans? Do send in your questions and comments to 22162, beginning with the word news. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook at Y254 channel. The hashtag is Y254 updates. And right now, I will take you to my panel, where we're going to discuss this particular topic. I'd like to introduce you guys from closest to me. We have Doreen Arange. Hi, Doreen.
Hi.
You're good?
Yes.
Awesome. I have Hilary, who has given us the last story.
Right.
Yes. And I have Vivian Ndegwa. Yep. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. Yeah, I mean, we've seen amazing stories right here, and so many times, you know, people are like, you know, Kenyans are not united. Tribalism divides us. Politics divides us, but we have seen a lot of heroes over the past few years and even days. Just the other day, maybe what's your view on that?
I think that any time where we actually become politically affiliated to parties is only during this time of elections, because as you've seen the stories, in times of crisis, look at the Westgate attack, look at the Moi Girls attack. This girl didn't sit and say, if whatever tribe she was, she didn't sit and say, you know, I'm a Luo, so I won't save these lives, or I'll just speak from my friends who are from my tribe, or who are from, you know, where I'm coming from. She saved those lives, and that is, you know, just coming together as Kenyans in times of crisis. That's when we actually forget what your party is, what you're affiliated to. And I think that's a good thing. We should actually embrace that kind of gesture all the time, not just during times of crisis, because at the end of the day, we are still Kenyans. We are still brothers and sisters. You're still here. Okay, it's important, you know, the work, you are in your line of duty, but then again, you cannot afford to, you know, just overlook the fact that this is something that requires your attention. Humanity is important. So assuming, taking the example of Victor Muyakane, assuming that, you know, he was just there working, taking the whatevers, the pictures and everything, then he just decided to let this lady be there and the lady was, what was it? She was...
Yeah, she was on a wheelchair.
Yeah, exactly. So assuming he decided to let the lady die, you know, it even bothers your conscience that, yes, I am working, but I'm allowing this lady to die, and she had the condition. So I think at the end of the day, as much as we are working, there's also this part of humanity. So if you are in a position and you can help, just help in as much as you're working. And I think, and see, everyone even applauded him because it was a good thing, and we should all learn from that. It's important to also put your human side even in your line of work, whatever you're doing, be it journalism, you know, medicine, anything you're doing. It's important to put your human side in your line of work.
Great. I mean, I'd like to know if Hilary or Vivian, you have different sentiments, especially because many years ago there was a journalist. There's a story of a journalist and a vulture and a kid who was dying, and the journalist took that photo and won the Pulitzer Prize award. I mean, what would you do if you were the position of either of these journalists, the Ugandan one or the Kenyan one?
I mean, I think what people need to understand is that we are humans first before we are journalists. And that is to everyone, you know, we are humans first. So there's no way you can watch a person get hurt because you just want that story.
Yeah.
You know, you just have to find a way, you know,
So
just
but then
help
what
out
about the
first.
story? Then what happens to the story?
For me, about the guy who took that picture, being a journalist, I guess he took the picture for the purpose of reporting what is happening. But so unfortunate than what did this person did, because suppose the boy didn't die and people saw that picture,
Exactly.
would they have still come to the help of that region? Yeah, because it is the picture that spoke to people, leave alone what the journalist did. But he took the picture to deliver the message, but the unfortunate happened, so we can't so much blame him.
Indeed, and actually that journalist ended up committing suicide because he could not live with himself after that. So I guess
that's
really
what-
humanity comes first before that. I'll just go back to the issue of tribalism, and there's even religion. We've seen one of your stories, the women who are guarding around the Christians on a bus in Garissa. But why is it that we help each other in such situations, but when it comes to politics, what really happens?
I think that that's very interesting because we always help each other in times of need. We've seen many stories, you know, the Muslims coming, forgetting that you're Muslim and this is a Christian, you come to help. So I tend to think that we always have this, you know, the love, especially as Kenyans, we have this love as Kenyans, we just love each other. But during times of election, I don't know what happens to our heads. We just start thinking, by the way, I'm Kikuyu, I'm Luo, so hakuna venye tunakusaidia. But all this while, we are always helping each other. Sometimes you may meet someone on the street, they don't even care to see what tribe, they don't even ask your tribe.
You don't
They
even
meet you
care. The supporters are more than supporters, they are fanatics. So this is where the problem comes in. When you really have a love for this particular person, politician, I guess
and
that's where
sometimes
the
you don't even know why you're loving it, just because everyone else is.
Exactly.
And much more, you see, politics, it's good. It's good. But the problem is, it gets to some individuals to get to be personal.
Yeah.
Because you can't have development if you don't have people politicking about it. You have to be criticized for you to do a better job. But now it has become personal because maybe this person from this side of this community argues better than the other one. We tend to imagine now we are stronger than the others, but that's not true.
That's not really the case. We do want to remind you our question tonight is, does politics and political divide and tribalism distort our integrity as Kenyans? 22162 is our SMS line beginning with the word news, and you can find us on Twitter at Y254 channel. The hashtag is Y254 updates. As we wind up this discussion, because honestly, it's, I don't know you guys, do you think the youth, because to me the youth are the most affected by this divide. I mean, politics and tribalism really compromises our integrity. You know what you're supposed to do, you know you're supposed to do the right thing, but you don't. So really, what would you tell the young people? We could start with Vivian.
One thing I can say is that, I mean, let's not really be bad or really die-hard fans of politicians. Do whatever we have to do. If you are a supporter, or if you are related to a political, or you are affiliated rather to a certain political side, you don't really have to like hate me because I have a different opinion than yours. So let's just live in harmony, whatever it is, whether I am supporting this party or this other one, or I'm from this particular tribe or the other one. We are just one.
We are one.
Yeah.
Okay. Hillary.
Yeah. I know most of the youth love reggae. And Bob Marley once said, the greatness of a man, it's not in how much wealth he acquires, but the integrity and how he can impact on other people. So young people out there, they should embrace unity. Because if you're there for me in bad times, why can't you be there even in good times?
Yeah.
Let's differ on ideas, but focus on what is right. That's what I could say.
Thank you. That was a great message.
After those thoughts, you're even wondering what to say. But
Yeah.
But I actually echo everything they've said. However, I think what I'd like to add is, as youth especially, you know, being the majority, we should always be objective. Even when politicians come in these rallies and everything, let us not just take in what they say.
Indeed.
Let us be objective. You know, sit, actually think what they think about what they say. Then even as you're giving your opinion, even as you're supporting a particular whatever party, you are having an ideal reason why you're doing that. Not just doing because everyone else is or because you're from this tribe.
Yeah.
Objectivity is very important. Yeah.
Indeed, Vivian, I felt like you wanted to say something.
No, I was feeling her.
You're feeling her. Indeed, I hope our young people out there are watching, and you know, we want to maintain, be who you are, and all of us, we are good people, we have good hearts. Don't let politics, don't let tribalism, yes, compromise your, sorry?
Also religion.
Yes, and also religion, don't let it compromise your integrity. So that discussion, of course, wraps up this evening's program. We hope to see you tomorrow, same time, same place. My name is Christine Kiai. Do have a lovely evening.